Hey guys, Growly Arcanine or Arca here. How are you guys doing? I decided to make a little bit of a different video today. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you might notice that I do battle quite a lot on Pokemon Go PvP Go Battle League, which has their pre-season going right now, and I'm quite excited for the season one, which I believe begins like in maybe a week or so. So I was kind of like battling and trying to get as far as I can and get my rank up as far as possible. And I thought, why not record like a set of 5 matches? If you're not familiar with the format, you battle like a set of 5 matches, and based on that, you kind of rank up. The higher your rank, the better your matchups would be. So right now, as you can see, probably on the top left, I am rank 9 and my total points are 3283. For rank 10, which is the highest possible rank on Go Battle League, you need 3500 plus. So yeah, I just wanted to take my last 5 battles and just randomly do kind of a talk through. These are all going to be Great League battles, and you can see my team on the right. I'm running Azumarill, an Umbreon, and a Registeel. I used to run what do you call Male Metal, but I decided to swap it out for Registeel because I feel Registeel does the job better, and it's like in general a little more bulky compared to Male Metal, and helps me with like some safe switches under some circumstances and can hit for like quite a lot of damage with like Flash Cannon or Focus Blast. But yeah, that's roughly what it is. For movesets, I used to run Play Rough, Ice Beam, Azumarill, but I felt like my team kind of lacks coverage against people who run too much of a bulk setup. Like, for example, if people are running, say, a Steelix and a Bastiodon, I kind of struggle to break through. So I switched Play Rough out for Hydro Pump because I feel like even in a Azu versus Azu matchup, Hydro Pump can still get the job done, even though Play Rough is a faster move. You can still like burn some shields, make them do some, decisions and things like that. So yeah, and the Umbreon is basically a standard foul play last resort set with Snarl as a fast move because Snarl is awesome for energy gain, and the Registeel is obviously lock on, Focus Blast, and Flash Cannon. Without further ado, I'm going to jump into my first 5 set of matches, and I'm going to commentate through them. And obviously, for future references, these are never going to be like 3 matches from one set and 2 matches from other set. If I win all 5 matches, trust me, it's going to be because I played well, and if I lose all 5 matches, it's also going to be because I played poorly. So I know what happened in these matches, but I'm going to keep things as neutral as possible. If you guys want to play a game, probably pause the video right now and try guess what happened as a result of the all 5 matches. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So here we have our first match. There we go. Should be good. So it's against Brandster Snow. And I'm going to comment it through my thought process or what I was doing, what I was thinking to make things as clear as possible. So he leads with Altaria. This is a positive matchup for me because I can Ice Beam. So he switches out to Tropius. I do not switch immediately because I do want to fire one Ice Beam and try Burn a Shield, because if he doesn't burn a shield, then this is going to take quite a lot of damage. But he's smart. He does burn a shield, but then I switch to Registeel because Tropius typically only runs Aerialist and Leaf Blade as their charge moves, and none of those can do too much damage to Registeel, and I can take Resolute pretty decently. I wouldn't say like it would still like chunk me down to like half my health, but it still is decent in my opinion. So I start throwing some powerful flash cannons. I know that these are 2-hit KOs if he doesn't use shield. So yeah. So as you can see, it takes away pretty much half of his health. And I don't use any shields at this point because I do want to preserve my shields as much as possible. And I want to make him make that decision whether he wants to just go shieldless. Because if he goes shieldless, I get a lot of advantage. So I throw another flash cannon, and if I remember right, he does not shield this one because he doesn't want to go down to 2 shield disadvantages. because another Leaf Blade wouldn't kill me, and I would get to my third Flash Cannon with the Registeel. He does let the counter run out. I don't know why he did that. Some people do that, as I've seen, but the unfortunate part of that is that I would have been able to switch if I wanted to, but I do not. The reason I did not switch is because I knew that whatever I come in with, I would get the switch initiative. So I come in with my Umbreon. If he wants to switch to his Altaria, then I can just switch to my Azumarill and start throwing some Ice Beams. These Mud Bombs are not going to do too much. I'm not too much worried, so I don't shield this. I just start throwing some foul plays. There's a little bit of lag, as you can probably see. Or maybe I was charging. For this one, I think I was charging, but for the next one, there was a little bit of lag. So, yeah. As you can see, the foul play would keep kind of chunking him down. Wishcast doesn't have as good of defense as Umbreon, and foul play does way more to him compared to what Mud Bomb does to me. So I'm safe. This is a winning matchup for me. But yeah, as you can probably see, I wanted to throw my foul play before to make him choose before he switches out, like make a decision whether he wants to shield or not. But that one doesn't go through. But that's all right. We still get a decent amount of damage on the Altaria. And now I know that he needs to burn a shield in order to protect his Altaria. So I burn a shield to keep my Azumarill as topped up as possible. And then I basically go ahead and throw my first Ice Beam. And I know this needs to be shielded because that Altaria is not going to appreciate an Azumarill Ice Beam because Azumarill is a freaking tank. It hits like a truck, absolute truck. So yeah. So he's not going to appreciate that. I'm not going to shield this, what is it even? Air Slash? Oh, no, Sky Attack. I keep forgetting. Air Slash is a fast move. So yeah, so now I get to my second Ice Beam, and this is GG for Altaria. Even if he switched out, I would have definitely gotten to another Ice Beam before he could like reach to 2 Sky Attacks, which is what it need to kill me because I had a shield. So he switches to his Wishcash, or basically it was his last Pokemon, and I just wanted to burn one of his Mud Bombs in order to get myself the advantage because Umbreon was on a slightly higher health. So here, I believe I do not shield, and probably that might have been a mistake. I don't know. Oh no, sorry. So I do not shield there, and I throw this. Snarl, and foul play. But let's see, do I feint here before I get to my next foul play? I do, yeah. So probably I should have shielded that because if I did, then I would have feinted it with we would have had a simultaneous feint, and I'm lucky that he didn't get to 2 Mud Bombs because I believe from here a second Mud Bomb actually kills the Azumarill. So yeah, that was a little bit risky play from me, but we get the W. Regardless, we get the dub. So yeah, in general, I guess it was a pretty fair opening for me for this match, I guess, because Azumarill versus Altaria is a super favorable matchup. He would have to burn shields if he really needs to beat me, and I do have a Registeel in the bag to still beat the Altaria, and the rest of the things can be taken care of as well. So yeah, that's how the first match went. Let's look at the second match. This is versus Max YS92. Yes, Max YS92. Let's see. So I lead with my Azumarill. I always lead with my Azumarill. And he leads with a Skarmory, which is a decent matchup for Azumarill. I mean, it does take a decent bit of damage from Flash Cannon, but for Skarmory to actually reach like that many Flash Cannons, I reach Ice Beams way faster, and it is a 3-hit KO if I remember correctly, or maybe even a 2-hit KO depending on how much damage it takes from bubbles. But I switch out to my Registeel, and he switches to his Swampert. But the thing is, because he used his shield on these Skarmory, which I don't know was the right play or not, he's kind of vulnerable here because he blocks this one as well. And at this point, I know that typically Great League Swamperts would always run either Sludge Wave and Hydro Cannon. They would never run Earthquake. But I still shield this one. Probably a bad play on my part. I don't know. Because I would have taken one one Hydro Cannon pretty easily. I'm in a 2-hit KO range from Hydro Cannons, but yeah. But now he's pretty much like defenseless, shieldless, and I can take one Hydro Cannon and I would reach a Flash Cannon, so I can kill him pretty easily from this range. Even though Swampert resists Flash Cannon, his defense is pretty trash, so I don't have to worry about that. Oh, does he kill me here? I forgot. Yeah, probably he gets to 2 Hydro Cannons and kills me, but that's fine. That is totally fine. So I switched to my Azumarill, and my motivation here is to farm the Swampert up because I know that it is in like 5 or 6 bubble range, and I was a little scared here, which is why I ended up shielding, I believe, which was the wrong play. I should have counted the mud shots because it is not enough for him to reach Sludge Bomb. But yeah, now whatever comes in, I guess the Skarmory comes in with a Sky Attack, but that's not enough. I can reach a Hydro Cannon, a Hydro Pump, and that's going to do massive amount of damage to the Skarmory, which is what I do. Excuse me. Yeah, this is a stabbed Hydro Cannon from an Azumarill that does insane amount of damage to the Skarmory. And at this stage, I believe I am at a possible KO range from a Sky Attack, and I do get KO'd by the Sky Attack. But from here, Umbreon pretty much, like, especially because his last Pokemon is a Hypno, there is nothing he can do about it, because by the time he reaches a Focus Blast, I can reach like probably 3 Snarls, 3 Foul Plays. So that Hypno is not going to survive even 2 Foul Plays, I believe. So yeah, he kind of forfeits at this point, and we get the second dub. Pretty good, 2-0. Let's see. So time for our third game. Battle number 3 versus X-Gerald M. He starts off with a Charizard, which is an amazing matchup. Yeah, the Charizard doesn't want to be here, so he immediately switches to his Bastiodon. And I was planning to switch, but I was like, well, this cannot take anything from me, to be honest. Like, it is not going to appreciate a Hydro Pump from me. So he has to shield this. There's nothing he can do about it. And I was going to switch out immediately as I throw my Hydro Pump because I do want to get my my Registeel up and ready for throwing some Flash Cannons or Focus Blasts. But I do take a Stone Edge before I go switch, so that's alright. It doesn't do too much of a damage. I'm still at a range where I can easily defeat the Charizard. So I reach a Flash Cannon, so I decided to throw a Flash Cannon because I thought that he might have to shield this. But probably the better idea was to throw the Focus Blast because he was at a shield disadvantage, and if I threw the Focus Blast, this match would have been much easier for me. Because at this point, I have to burn a shield because a Flamethrower would do a decent amount of damage to me. So, yeah. And I believe now he just takes a Flash Cannon and dies because now he has a shield. He's not at a shield disadvantage anymore, and I also somehow miss 2 swipes. I gave up in the middle for some reason, which was stupid on my part. But now he comes back with a Charizard. I try my best to get back to Flash Cannon, which I do, and I believe immediately after that I switch out. Is I believe what I did? Yes. As he shields, I immediately switch out to my Azumarill, but he switches to his Ivysaur, which was a super awesome play from his part. I do not get to an Ice Beam, so that was kind of a scary moment for me. I probably should have just stayed with the Registeel and like have him do the switch because I was switch locked with that Azumarill from the Ivysaur, and that was probably a bad play on my part. But I knew that I can take out this Ivysaur with my Registeel. It cannot even take like 1 Flash Cannon for that matter. But yeah, he gets through a Power Whip or something like that, I believe. And I want to preserve my my shield for my Umbreon because I want my Umbreon as topped up as possible. Even though Umbreon is pretty bulky, it still would take a decent chunk of damage from the Razor Leaves because Razor Leaf is super powerful. And at this point, I'm just trying to farm the Ivysaur down as much as possible because I do not want to waste charge moves. But I was scared that it might reach to a Power Whip and then I would have to burn my shield and the Charizard might come in and start throwing some pretty powerful blast burns, and that would have been really bad. So I do use a foul play at this point because I do want to chunk down the Charizard, and I see that does a decent amount of damage. And at this point, I was like, if he has a Dragon Claw, he might reach to a Blast Burn really fast, and that would be really bad for me if I shield this. So that's why I decided to take this, because I was like, I can take 2 Blast Burns. I cannot take 2 Blast Burns. I can only shield one, and like I'll be like pretty down on the other one. So I was like, I'll just gamble on him throwing Dragon Claw at the beginning, which worked out pretty well. So even though I got switch locked with my Azumarill, my Umbreon comes through, and the Charizard is gonna get absolutely thrashed by this small play. So that's pretty much the game. Yeah, yeah. Like from the first bit of damage, I didn't anticipate that it can get like absolutely destroyed by 2 foul plays. But that's good to know. That's like, the more you learn, the more you grow. So that was pretty cool. So 3-0, which was pretty awesome. We were at a great stage at this point. Another win means we secure 5 charge TMs, which is awesome. Sorry. So this one is not a favorable matchup for me because I do take quite a lot of damage from flash cannons, and Registeel do get it pretty fast. So I did want to switch away at this point to my own Registeel, but I couldn't because I wasn't like really counting the lock-ons. But he does end up switching, which probably wasn't the best play on his part. He should have stick with his own Registeel because this was a winning matchup for him. I do end up throwing the Hydro Cannon, which probably was a bad play on my part. I should have saved it and switched to my own Registeel, but that's all right. I was ready to take that gamble because at this point, this Azumarill is pretty much 2-hit KO from this Registeel. Even like unless he starts burning shields, yeah, look at that. That does a decent chunk of damage. And I was ready to like not shield anything from this Azumarill, even if it throws a Hydro Pump. I'll probably end up like shielding a second Hydro Pump, but like it wouldn't reach to a second Hydro Pump. So this was an Ice Beam, so that was pretty harmless. I think he gets to a second Ice Beam, yes. And I do not shield that either because I can take it pretty easily. And I believe, oh, there was a little bit of a weak connection, but that's all right. I believe I charged a little more, like so that I have a little bit of residual charge, and then I start throwing the Flash Cannon. And there's no point for him to shield this because, yeah, that's just a waste of a shield. That Azumarill is pretty much dead. So he switches to his Raichu, which is actually a pretty smart play on his part. So I switched to my Umbreon to take his Thunder Punch. And that was a good play. That was a smart play because I wouldn't have been able to take that Thunder Punch from the Registeel, I believe. And Raichu is pretty good because it resists everything that I can throw. And yeah, at this point, the Registeel starts throwing. He switches to his Registeel, and yeah, I start throwing foul plays. I was scared that he might go for the Flash Cannon, Focus Blast directly, but I was also expecting him to kind of, try bait and try get me to lose some shields because at this point I think both of us had like 2 shields, and like now he uses 1 shield to keep himself topped up, but I gamble here and do not use a shield, and that worked out nicely because if it was a Focus Blast, that would have like pretty much decimated me, but the fact that I did not use the other shield kind of gives me an advantage. But here I do use a shield because I was like, yeah, that's definitely a Focus Blast. He's not going to do the same mistake again. But in fact, like I was at a range where I get KO'd by a Flash Cannon as well. So he probably should have used a Flash Cannon there so that he saved some of his energy. But we shield that and we use a foul play. And at this point, I can get to another foul play pretty easily before he gets to his Flash Cannon. So that's why we start throwing that foul play. And I think he shields this, which gives me the initiative to kind of come in and finish him off with a Focus Blast, which was another dumb mistake on my part because I shouldn't have used Focus Blast here. Like, even though it doesn't make too much of a difference, my Registeel is pretty low. I should be using a Flash Cannon here because yeah, like actually, to be honest, maybe Focus Blast was the right play. I don't know because if he like quickly switched to his Raichu, the Focus Blast would have done the more damage compared to the Flash Cannon. Even though Flash Cannon is stabbed, it is resisted by the Raichu. But here he uses Grass Knot, and I was like, oh great. And I think he had to use the grass knot because I was getting to an ice beam and he wouldn't have appreciated an ice beam. I was like, yeah, that means that he cannot get to 2 thunder punches by the time I get to 1 Snarl, because I was at a shield advantage compared to him. So I was like, okay, so this is I can peacefully go for a foul play at this point. Did I say Snarl? I meant to say foul play. So yeah, like this is like overkill at this point. Like the Raichu is not going to appreciate a foul play from that range, and Raichu's defense is pretty bad. Like even for I don't know what I did there, but yeah. But yeah, that was fourth game, which meant like we were one game away from clean sweeping the whole round. And like, trust me, this is exactly how it happened. Like, I'm not combining my battles from like different sets. This is exactly how it went down. Sandstorm 1492. The last game, I lead with Azumarill. He leads with Melmetal. And this is actually not a good matchup for me. But I guess like I don't know. I got a little panicked. I reckon I could have stayed in for a little longer. I think I end up switching here, and that's what causes me the match. Costs me the match. So he uses Rock Slide, and that doesn't do too much. Yeah, and I think if I stayed in and threw a Hydro Pump, which I believe I do actually. Yeah, I do throw a Hydro Pump, and I was like, if he's gonna shield this, I'm gonna switch. If he's gonna not shield it, I'm gonna stay in. That was my idea. But I think I should have done the other way. If he shields, I should have stayed in, and if he did not shield, I should have switched. Because if he did not shield, that Hydro Pump would have done quite a lot of damage. But now he's gonna throw, I believe, a superpower, which would do quite a lot of damage, and he has the switch initiated because I am locked in. He can safely go to his Swampert. He does take a Focus Blast to the face, I believe, or does he shield this? I forgot. Um, I believe he takes a Focus Blast to the face. Yes. Which gives me a little bit of advantage, but I think at this point I'm kind of at a range where I get KO'd by that Hydro Cannon. I think, or pretty close, I guess. Yeah, I do not bother shielding that because even if I shielded that, it wouldn't have made too much of a difference. So I go back to my Azumarill, and at this point I'm just trying to farm up the Swampert. But he does get to another Hydro Cannon, which I don't bother too much about because I can easily take it. The next one is the one that bothers me because by the time I can chunk him down, I believe he gets to another one. Yeah, so this is the one I was a little scared about because even if it is a Hydro Cannon, it can do a lot of damage. So I decided to use a shield because I'm anyways gonna chunk it down and like save all my energy and throw some powerful Hydro Pump to whoever comes in. He brings in a Venusaur, which is like terrible news for me because that means that he can shield this pretty easily, and I have nothing to do but to switch my Umbreon. And yeah, so that's pretty bad news for me because I cannot touch the Venusaur with my Azumarill because my Azumarill doesn't have enough energy to reach a second Ice Beam by the time he chunks me down with his Razor Leaf, or sorry, Vine Wipe and Frenzy Plant. So yeah, that was kind of a bad news. If I had a little more health on my Azumarill, I would have been in a much better place. Um, but yeah, this is at this point it's kind of a bad news because this Frenzy Plant would do a ton of damage to me, and I don't have anything to do to it. Even though I can like do damage with Foul Play, the Melmetal can reach a Rock Slide pretty easily and take me out at this point. I do get to a Foul Play, and I believe I shield his next one, which yeah, which probably wasn't the smartest play, or maybe it was. I don't know. Do I get to a Foul Play? If I do, then it was the right play, I guess. Let's see. I do get to it, but uh, yeah, I don't know why I did that. I guess it didn't make a difference because the Venusaur would have fainted me anyways. But you use the the Azumarill as one of my shields. But my Umbreon is way too low at this point. Like it can barely take a Vine Wipe from a Venusaur. So yeah, yeah. So we don't get a 5-0 clean sweep, sadly, but it is what it is. It was a good set of matches, I would say. I had fun. I hope this video was a little different from what I've uploaded so far. And I just wanted to kind of, talk about like my general battle strategy, what I'm using, and I have decent results of it. I'd say like a little more than 50% of victories, and I do have reached rank 9 and almost like halfway through to rank 10. So yeah, I guess even if you want to start PvPing in Go Battle League, like right now, I hope this video is a little bit educational for you and a little bit entertaining in terms of my commentary. Do let me know what kind of feedback you guys have for me because this is the first time I'm doing a video like this, so I'd appreciate any kind of feedback. And if you have any sort of suggestions in terms of the team or in terms of like what I could have done better in any of the games, do let me know in the comments because I would appreciate all kind of help. I don't claim myself to be any kind of boss in terms of PvP battling, but yeah, that's all about this video. I hope you guys had a good time, and I shall catch you guys later. Bye bye.